All right, I'm back here again to continue off my last discussion because I think these conversations need to be had. All right. It's easy for me to go on and on about the Republican Party and how flawed they are and how we need to vote them out and how we need to do all. We all agree with that. A lot of us agree with that. Okay. But we got to also remember we also got to have a forward thinking way of looking at politics in America. We got to change the way politics is done. We got to change our mindset when we vote. We got to vote for better people because just voting Republicans out and voting Democrats in is not going to be enough. Newsflash. I just want to bring that reality to people. Yes, it's important to vote. Yes, I believe the Democratic candidate is damage control compared to the Republicans. But it's not enough. We got to stop. We got to look outside the box. We got to stop settling for the lesser of two evils. We actually got to want to vote for people that want to make this country better. Okay. I know it's hard because people are flawed. We're all flawed, and I want you to all realize we're all flawed. We're all human beings. I'm not telling you have to vote for saints, but we got to vote for people that actually want to make a difference. All right, and we got to just do. We got to just stop playing this BS team sport. Our side's always better. Blah blah blah. No, there's more to life than that. Okay. What I say is vote for more clarity. People that see the truth for what it is and call it out. Because we need that reality. We need that reality check in our system. If you look at the people that are running our country right now, they're terrible human beings. They're terrible people doing terrible things to our country. They're part of a whole elite class, especially of the E class. You see it. Okay, it's bad. So obviously, there were a few Democrats implicated in those files too. That's what I'm saying. We need a whole cleanup from the bottom up. So we need more than just vote Democrats over Republicans. Obviously, we need to vote for better people, like I've said, and that's why it's important. But we got to actually be the shining example of what people actually want to vote for. And that's what I'm saying. The Democratic Party's got to change in the sense that they got to go outside the educated class. I can't say this enough. They got to appeal to more people. They got to talk about issues and focus on issues that hit people in the gut and affect them every waking day of their life. Because it's people's livelihoods on the line. Okay? Inflation's eating everything up. Then we're in this unconstitutionally legal war. So, like I've said, it really does matter though, because it's the only way we're going to truly save our democracy. And they got to grow their tent. And I don't mean just by shifting ideology. Okay, I know people focus so much on ideology. It's the branding. It's not really just the ideology. I want to remind people that a lot of these candidates that won special elections, a lot of them were independent of the DNC and the DSSC and the senatorial and congressional committees. They were actually independent of the donor class of the party. They ran their own campaigns. So all these candidates that flipped seats, a lot of them, I want to remind people, it was the political branding that mattered. It was their connection and their fabric to the community. It was the fact that they were willing to focus on the everyday issues people were affected by. As, believe it or not, the people that used to be in charge of the Democratic Party, who I thought were destructive in the long term, the Clinton wing, or was it James Carville even said it himself, it's the economy, stupid. That's the truth. It's the truth. People are always going to vote on their pocketbook issues. Okay? And right now, Democrats are going to basically win that argument right now anyway, only because of how bad the Republicans are doing right now. But we got to look further than that. That's short term. Because if we only focus on winning because Republicans are so terrible when they get power, then that's only going to be short lived. Because once Democrats get back in power, if they do the same old mealy-mouthed, gradual progress, barely any, that people don't feel right away, the Republicans will get back into power again. And you see what we're witnessing with the Republican Party control. They're going to go further down the rabbit hole. They're only going to get worse. And that's why I said it matters to have at least one healthy political party. The only party we have right now that's viable right now is the Democratic Party. The Republican Party's showing us who they are. They're not changing. I do hope in the future they change, because they are still a political party. And the pendulum does swing every once in a while. And I do ultimately want to see two healthy parties in this country. I know people are going to get mad at me for saying this, because they're going to say, oh, well, we want Republicans to destroy themselves. We do, especially right now. But I also understand there's still a party and institution that exists. They will clean up and get back on their feet. But we want them to get obliterated this election, because we want them to learn their lesson and sow the fruits of what they sowed. They sowed themselves into a fascist cult, and they need to be held accountable for that more than ever. But in the meantime, this is a chance for the Democratic Party to rebuild itself. And I'm going to be honest with you too. Y'all need to y'all need to stop taking that AIPAC money. Y'all need to stop taking money from that Israeli lobby. They are toxic. They are beyond toxic. You see what Israel's doing right now. You see what's going on with Gaza and Netanyahu, this war criminal who's running the country of Israel. You see he's basically pushed America to go to war with Iran, as they're funneling money into our country to corrupt our politicians to serve their interests. That is a problem across the board and across the aisle. So my advice is, honestly, both parties need to stop taking money from them. Both parties. Not just Democrats, because I want to see the health and future of the Democratic Party get better, but also the Republican Party. Y'all need to clean your hands of all this dirty money that's corrupted your guys' priorities, and stop focusing on and start focusing on making the American people's lives better. That needs to happen regardless of who's in power. This has got to change. And it's going to be up to us, the voters, to change it. Now, I hope to God both parties get their act together, because they're the only two parties we have in this country. I just want to highlight that reality to people. So, in an ideal world, yes, I would vote all progressives in office, but I know that's not reality. But we just need a sense of moral clarity, and we need to get our political system cleaned up. And we need to expect better out of our elected officials. We just do. You know, I think we all have agreements on certain things that we don't realize we agree on. We all want better communities. We all want a cleaner environment. We all want a better quality of life, a lower cost of living, a government that actually cares about helping the working class. And we don't want forever wars. I think we all have that agreement, don't we? Yeah, that's what I thought. I would assume we all have that agreement there. So you want both parties to get their act together, only because you know that's the reality of our institutions. We still have a two-party system, but this party that's in power right now needs to be voted out, and I mean voted out bigly, to be held accountable for their behavior. To have a message, the American people need to send them a message and vote them out. Okay. That way, once they're obliterated, they have a chance to recollect on their mistakes, and they can clean up their own act on their side of the aisle. Meanwhile, the Democrats need to clean their act up too. So that's all I'm going to say in this video. But y'all need to stop taking that nasty that terrible AIPAC money. Stop it. That pro-war money, stop it. We don't want this nonsense as voters. And all you taking money from other foreigners, especially like Russian oligarchs, yeah, that needs to stop too. Because we don't need any more Russian propaganda dividing our politics in this country, along with the Israeli lobby buying up all our politicians. Enough is enough. All right, that's all I want to say in this video. See y'all later. Love y'all. See you later. Goodbye.